Caterpillar wheel loaders have always been designed with the operator in mind. Comfort and productivity features that, with your expertise, allow the machine to perform at its maximum. Command control steering, along with electro-hydraulics, first introduced with the G-Series wheel loaders, allowed for reduced steering efforts and light fingertip control of hydraulic functions. Electro-hydraulics also provided the potential for increased future capabilities. Now, G-Series 2 wheel loaders are taking the next step. Caterpillar's Aggregate Auto Dig feature makes use of the wheel loader's integrated systems and allows automation of the bucket loading cycle. Designed to alleviate some of the repetitiveness of operating a wheel loader, this innovative feature controls the lift and tilt functions while loading the bucket. This means that you can set the machine to repeat a bucket loading cycle consistently and precisely. There are 9 pre-programmed settings for materials of different densities, and if that's not enough, you can even program the machine to play back your own loading actions. Even though the bucket loading cycle is a small portion of your day, we think you'll agree, after you get some experience using AutoDig, that this new feature is a useful and valuable tool. AutoDig makes it possible for you and the loader to accomplish more with less effort.
I can remember when machines, to make the bucket work, at the end of the day, your arm felt like you were lifting weights all day, where you don't, we've come a long way there. Now I think you're coming one more step farther. You're taking a little of the strain off of the operator, and I just think it makes the job a little easier.
AutoDig, it totally amazed me when I first tried it. I said, well, there can't be any way that they could actually program a machine to dig like I would dig. It does. It actually does. It'll dig exactly the way I dig, time after time after time. And it made a believer out of me. I mean, it works fantastic.
Not designed for larger rock or hard bank applications, AutoDig allows you to consistently load loose aggregate materials without having to touch the bucket control levers, maintaining a smooth loading cycle and minimizing tire spin while loading.
It makes you a much more comfortable operator, I'll say that.
It gives me a little more time to pay attention to what's going on around me. In a quarry this size, there's a lot of traffic moving in and out, and I really don't have to pay as close attention to the bucket as I do when I'm digging by hand.
As with any operation, the first priority with AutoDig is safety. Make sure you read and understand the AutoDig section of the Operation and Maintenance Manual before attempting to use AutoDig. Keep in mind that AutoDig is always off at machine startup. Now let's talk about AutoDig's key operating functions. AutoDig does not perform the dump cycle or make directional shifts. The operator is in control of steering and throttle. Before we get into how AutoDig works, let's take a look at the controls. Most of the controls for AutoDig are located on the upper right panel. From left to right, you have the Dig Mode selector switch, the Operation Mode switch, and the AutoDig Kickout Position set switch. The Dig Mode selector is a 10-position rotary switch. There are 9 pre-programmed settings you can choose from for the material you're loading. In the far left position, or fully counterclockwise, AutoDig is set for the lightest material. As you turn the knob to the right, the AutoDig cycle is adjusted for increasingly heavier material, with the heaviest setting in the 9th or next to last position. The 10th or last position on the selector is for the Record Playback feature of AutoDig, marked by a small white dot. From the factory, the 10th position is the same as the 9th position until you record your own loading cycle. When the Dig Mode selector is set in positions 1 or 2, AutoDig will load in second gear. When set in positions 3 through 9, AutoDig will load in first gear, regardless of the position of the auto shift switch. AutoDig will downshift to the appropriate gear for the dig mode selected if you drive into the pile in a higher gear. But AutoDig will not upshift if you drive into the pile in a lower gear. Next, we have the operation mode switch. Pushing the upper portion of the switch allows you to turn AutoDig on and toggle between the two operating modes. In the first, automatic pile detection mode, the machine senses when the bucket has contacted the pile and automatically begins the loading cycle. The second, operator trigger mode, requires the operator to start the bucket loading cycle by pushing the trigger switch located near the bucket controls. The operation mode switch is also used to enter the record mode, which allows you to record your own loading cycle. The trigger switch is used to start and stop the recorder in the record mode. The use of this mode will be discussed later. Push the lower portion of the operation mode switch to turn AutoDig off. Remember, at machine startup, AutoDig is always off. As you toggle through the operation modes, a corresponding indicator will light up on the dash, and an audible alert will let you know which mode you're in. The third switch on the upper right panel is the AutoDig Kickout Position Set switch. The AutoDig Kickout Position Set switch sets the height, where the lift linkage will stop after AutoDig completes its loading cycle. This kickout is in addition to the standard upper kickout. We will go over the adjustment procedure later in the video. The audible indicator for AutoDig is located in the back of the cab, near the fuse box. You can adjust the volume with the baffle covering it. In order for AutoDig to function properly, the machine must meet some basic conditions when loading. The conditions necessary to start AutoDig are as follows. The bucket must be less than 2 feet, or 60 centimeters, off the ground, and near level, plus or minus 10 degrees. The machine must be in first, second, or third gear forward.